Welcome to In Her Voice, a podcast created for women who listen to and live by their deepest wisdom, their inner voice. This was made for you, the woman who feels pulled to more, to lead, to create, to dream, and to be a world changer. My name is Kelly Covert, and I am an inner voice coach. Join me here each week as we explore what it means to reach for your inspired potential, all while honoring your worthiness each and every day. Hello, this is Kelly, and you are listening to In Her Voice. Thank you so much for being here today with me. I want to tell you, I was blown away by the response to my last solo podcast on balance. I got so many messages, so many emails, people stopping me in the store saying, Kelly, thank you. Thank you for putting that out there. This idea that balance is bullshit is exactly what I needed to hear, because so many of you are sick and tired of trying to live up to the ideal of balance. And I was really sitting a lot with why that brought up so much for everyone. And I realized it's because we have been fed this idea that balance is possible so much in our lives through the media, through what we see on social media, what we see other people doing, that we believe it. We have come to have a belief in the idea that balance is possible. And the cool thing about beliefs are they are really, really powerful. The scary thing about beliefs are that they are really powerful. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, beliefs can go both ways. They can fuel you, they can light your fire, they can help you take really positive action in the direction that you want to go. And beliefs can also keep you stuck, and they can keep you from showing up in the world the way you most want to show up. And I want to talk specifically about this belief of balance. I was really sitting with it, like, why do we think it's possible? Well, look around. We see on Instagram and Facebook, everyone's highlight reel, only the pictures that show them at their best, at the top of their game. And we think to ourselves, how is she doing it? How are they capable of doing it all? And we don't see the behind the scenes. We don't see the meltdowns. We don't see the hours and hours of time and effort that are put into the one area that they're highlighting. And the reality is that's what it looks like. Someone who is killing it in one area of their life most likely is not putting all of their effort additionally into another area of their life. And here's the thing. That is 100% okay. I'm here to tell you that if you are in a time of your life, in a season of your life when you are putting all of your effort and energy into motherhood, you are not failing in the other areas of your life. And likewise, if you are putting all of your energy and effort into your career, into a business that you're creating, into your podcast, into your art, you are not failing at the other parts of your life. We need to shift our belief around balance, because what we have discovered over and over again is that balance is not possible. And what we are believing is that balance is. And so if we have the belief that balance is possible and we bump up against that and we fail because we can't make it work, then we get mad at ourselves and we judge ourselves and we make that mean that we're doing something wrong, right? But what if the belief was, I believe I can do many things well? Or what if the belief was, I believe that there is an ebb and flow to where I put my energy? What if the belief was, just because my focus is all in one area doesn't mean that I'm failing in another area? We have to start to believe in something that's going to support us and in something that's going to make us make choices, not make us, help us make choices that are powerful. Because like I said in last solo episode, if we're spread so thin, trying to do all of the things well, that we stop taking care of ourselves, the whole show is going to break down. Everything's going to break down. Your body, your health, your mental, spiritual, all of that is going to break down. So we have to change our belief. So I want to ask you, in fact, this is a great journaling prompt. What do I want to believe about balance? What do I want to believe about my energy? What do I want to believe about the effort that I'm putting into things? All of these are really great questions because they lead us to a place of what we really believe instead of what we've been taught to believe. And that line, when we start to bump up against that line, it can be challenging. You may have a family belief that it's been passed down to you, that you have to work hard for good things to happen to you. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with working hard, but if you take that belief and you make it mean that you have to go, 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 go until you collapse, it is not serving you. If you have a belief that balance is possible, and all you're doing is beating yourself up because you can't seem to make it work, that belief is not serving you. So how can you create a belief, number one, that you believe in, that's true, that will serve you? This can be a really powerful step. And I think that what I want for myself, what I want for my clients, what I want for everyone is to love themselves now enough that they recognize I don't have to be all things to all people all of the time. Not only do I not have to do that, I cannot do that. It is not required and it is not possible. And when we take the time to give ourselves grace and to understand that all seasons in our life will come and go, there will be an ebb and flow to where your energy is focused, it's all gonna come around. It's all gonna balance out in the end. If we allow that, if we give that opportunity to ourselves to balance out our energy that way. I was thinking, what came up for me is that how do we, if we are accepting this belief that there's no such thing as balance, right? That there is a better way to focus our energy and that self-care is the glue that keeps everything together and that what comes around goes around, so to speak, in how we're parsing out our energy. If we are really believing that, how do we make sure that we're getting to all of the pieces, right? How do we make sure that after a time where maybe it's family heavy and family centered, how do we make sure that we then give time to a different area? How does that balance out? How do we do that over time? And the funny thing that came to my mind is really we have to have a system of checks and balances. We have to check in with ourselves. We have to be mindful and intentional of how we use our time. And when we do that, all of a sudden we can say, today is for business. Tomorrow is for family. And you're always going to have little bits and pieces of all of the things in your life in one day, right? But if you imagine that you only have 100% of energy, if your cup is full, which means, by the way, you've been taking care of yourself, and let's just call that 100, okay? You have 100 ounces, if you will, of you in a cup to pour out in one day. Where are you going to pour out those 100 ounces? It will not be balanced by the day. So maybe today I pour 60% into music and I pour 15% into family and I pour 15% into my podcast and then I pour 10% into taking care of myself. That's 100. That's all I have for that day. But tomorrow, those percentages are going to look different. And that's okay. So if we create a system where we become aware of how we're spending our time and how we're spending our energy, and we are checking in with ourselves to see, am I taking care of myself? Am I doing my bare minimum of self-care? And that includes physical self-care, spiritual self-care, all of those things. Am I doing the bare minimum? Because that is what's going to fill that cup back up every single day. Because number one, we want to start with a full cup. I want to start with 100 every day, because that way I can pour out that 100 in more areas or more focused in one area. But if I'm not giving myself the self-care, which may be just 5 or 10% of that energy, then I'm not going to start out full. I'm going to start out at 75 or 50. And then if I'm trying to continuously pour out the same amount day after day after day, I'm going to run out completely. And that's when things break down. I hope that was a good image for you. That really works for me, because when I look at my calendar at the beginning of the week, I literally sort of block off days. Like today, this is going to be my focus. And tomorrow, this is going to be my focus. I'm very intentional. And I say that, and in full transparency, I want to let you know, I am not perfect at it. And there's a lot of grace that falls into play for me as I navigate how I'm spending my energy day after day, and also how I'm filling up my energy. What does that look like? What does that feel like? What is the bare minimum for me to be able to wake up and do my best in the world? So I felt like it was really important for me to go deeper into this idea of balance and how we really need to shift the belief around that. We need to call ourselves on it. If you start judging yourself because of where you are in the quote unquote balance, work-life balance, or whatever you want to call it, remind yourself that is not possible. What is a belief that will serve me? What is a belief that will spur me into action in a great way? Not something that's going to lead to a breakdown or, having to take a week off because you're depleted. And here's the thing. Why am I ranting on this? I'm not really ranting. I feel very powerfully about this. When we are showing up fully each day, then we can do the work that we were put here to do. But if we're depleted day after day after day because we're trying to chase this pie in the sky version of what we think life should be, then we're never gonna use that potential. We're never gonna be in our power. We're always gonna be chasing something that's impossible. And what I want for all women, for all men, for my children, I want them to be able to be them and to make an impact on the world and to use their unique gifts and strengths the way no one else can do. You know why I want that for you? Because you are worthy.